Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few.
Hello, welcome back to the channel. So we're doing a bit of just a short quick one today, but we are coming to a little walk that links us from Jowl Lane, which is right up there. This is just a little footpath off of it, Jowl Lane in Biggin Hill, and we're just wandering down through these woods to the back of Biggin Hill Airport, and there's just for something to see as a quick video. It's Battle of Britain, World War II buildings that are abandoned, but also they used to be there, and I can remember when I was a lot younger, used to ride up here. There was an old car scrapyard, breaker's yard in the middle of the woods, and all the old cars were pre-1940s, well, definitely pre-50s. And last time I come up here, obviously they're all since rotted away and gone, but you still find all the heavier sort of parts, axles. We even found some of the leather seating that have been dragged into the buildings by kids. So we're going to have a quick look at that, because it's just something a little bit different to make for a little light video, I thought. Think about it before, but it used to be the old Scout Adventure Centre in there. Came here as a young boy with the Scouts, and it used to be brilliant. Do police dog training, their signs, don't enter. I've always seen loads of deer in here, loads of deer. But as I say, if we would have walked straight down this path, we'd be carrying on the path from Jowl Lane. You end up going straight through West Kent golf course, up towards Charles Darwin's house, the Charles Darwin, and into Down Village itself. But we'll head up here and just see if we can find, if any of this still remains, that we can find anything. Biggin Hill, the name's synonymous with the Battle of Britain and World War II, and that's what these buildings are all from. It's from leftover relics that I don't know what they were used for, but they're on the outskirts, they're outside, well, a lot of them on the outside of this now, the new fence. Now the RAF left here quite some years ago. They left Biggin Hill, and now it's just a commercial airport, but we'll have a look for these buildings. But this sort of woodland would have been obviously controlled by the Ministry of Defence back then, so they would have had possible use of it all. But we'll have a walk down and keep going. Zach Navy. So we're just at the edge of the golf course here, and the tractor's gone past, and over the left here, I think this one hangar directly in front of me, I think that's the Heritage Centre, that says got Spitfires, working, flying Spitfires, Hurricanes and all sorts up around there. So I think one of these hangars is the Battle of Britain one, the Heritage Centre. But here off the back, just outside are these, you can hear a plane taking off there behind me. There's all these old relics in the woods. Now, whether these were ammunition storage, I had no idea. As I do a lot of these videos unscripted, I probably tend to find it out once I do enough digging what they were used for. But in the area there were some anti-aircraft facilities, and looking at the way this has been built, quite thick walls with concrete reinforcing that goes up and over, it looks like it was meant to be quite sturdy. Now we'll have a little look around, but here somewhere used to be just remnants of the old cars that were here before, but I think from when I was last here, nature's just reclaimed it all. Among some of this rubbish and debris, you do find bits. God knows what this used to be. It's definitely an old car. I mean, that old colour of that old paint and the old red oxide primer, which tells me they haven't used that in decades. So that's some old British car. I can't identify it, but it's all that's left of this one. I think people have been up trophy hunting, and there's an old prop shaft. So if you look about, you'll find stuff. There you go, there's an old wartime or pre-war car, all that remains of it. Oh, there's a bit more in here. Here you have an old wheel, and the fact that's a cross-ply tyre. There's a few more bits and pieces in here dotted about, but I'm not going to go right under there. There's a piece of metal. I can tell by the way it's shaped, that's from a car. Isn't that extraordinary? We go into here. It's a bit of a mess. Don't really want Navi walking around in there. There's nothing left in here. We're definitely in the right place. Oh, there's another piece of metal there. And with that green, you can tell these are pre-50s cars. Oh, there's a bit more here. I remember when they really were sort of cars. And that, I'm going to say, I'd say that's the inside of an engine bay with a wheel arch, either the front or the back. But that colour green is unmistakable for that early era drab colours that they had, those greens, those greys and blacks and browns. They never really started using vibrant colours until the 60s, the mid to late 60s, especially the 70s. This might not pick up in here. Navi, come on. So that is an old seat, and there's another wing in there. Have a look, see if I can dig that out. Well, looking at the shape of that, anyway, I'll try and get that out to the light. It almost looks like a front wing off a little Austin. Austin A30 or something, but definitely an old car. But yeah, we're going to struggle to see in here, and I don't know if there's anything on the floor that could hurt Navi. So there's a lot of junk and things These are quite sturdily built. Quite some sort of ventilation. I mean, so whether these chambers would have been sealed with doorways, but I don't know. Just even more evidence of like seat frame. There's more than one car here, or there was back in the day. And it's funny, you look around and you see things poking out the mud and you think, oh, is that a piece of metal or something? But it turns out to be just a rotted tree stump. But I'd love to come around here with a metal detector. That'd be quite good fun. Sadly, I think whatever was here is gone. We've been having a look round now for a good 20 minutes, and what I remember was I put an inlay of sort of so you can understand where I kind of how I remember this. The photo isn't of this, what was here, it's just a picture I found online, but that's how it used to look with these cars and sort of just left here. Now whether these were, I can only assume, ex-MOD vehicles that were used by the staff. I think things after the RAF cleared out, any abandoned cars were dragged over here by these old buildings and just left. It's a shame I couldn't find the rear axle because I have seen that before. But kids come up here, teenagers, souvenir hunters, I guess. And we're back onto the airfield now. But we'll go down a little bit more, see what else we can find, if anything now. Let's turn round and there's this old entrance to a bunker. Piece of ironwork in front of it, and you can see I just thought it looked like earth that's been piled up, but if you look at the bunker, it amazed me that it did, because I looked at that because there's a lot of work going on here, so it's a working airfield. That's why I wouldn't go jumping that fence, but just to see that old relic of a bomb blast shelter from the war, and if you look at the back of that tail of that aircraft on the other side of the post, there's the edge of it. You can see more brickwork. Heavy news. There's more of these old buildings here on the perimeter fence, but you know, there's warning signs and everything. We're not going jumping over. Well, you can't see it, but I don't know if you can hear it. That's the Spitfire. She's just taken off, but we're not gonna see her in here. It's a great sound to be in such a historic place as Biggin Hill, and to hear that when they're sort of walking back towards those buildings now, because down there goes further on to Leeds Green and through to Keston, and then if you want to cross over the golf course to get to down, but we're going back up this way. It was only going to be a short trip down just to see what we could find that remained of those cars or what's left of them. But that's great to hear that take off. Still hear it. Cracking sound, absolutely cracking sound. Makes you very proud. Love it. Yeah, coming up from here, this heaped up earth round by this fence. So when this fence was built, there's just all sorts of bits of junk things like toilets. I could tell there's an old toilet pedestal and an old butler sink. More brick, rubble, metal, looks like an old bucket. And you know, this is just general rubbish and debris, but you've got to remember this is general rubbish debris that's possibly to that era. I mean, when they archaeologists, you know, go finding Roman, you know, rubble and things and artifacts, that was someone's rubbish. Same as this, what they didn't value then, who knows, another 50 years, people will be combing up and down here just to uncover things like this. A piece of broken up concrete slab that was definitely probably part of wartime Biggin Hill. There's a pillbox. I thought we could get to it because I've looked it online, but it's the other side, it's airport side of the fence here. So until I can try and get permission to get in there and have a look at some of the other structures, I'm afraid that's all we're going to get to see of it from this side. Right, well, I hope you enjoyed that. Wasn't too much. Even finding more wheel arches buried in the mud, and a bit more here. I can tell you what that is. That's the brake and the clutch pedal assembly, because I think the old cars, you can see the lever. The old cars had, I was about to end the video, but every time I keep doing there's either a plane going off or finding something more. But yeah, a bit of a short video to break it up, as I said. So I hope you enjoyed it. It's just a little bit more history lost in our walks that we come across. And you know, it's lovely to see that you can still find things like this that haven't been pulled down and lost and forgotten forever. But you know, it's still here. But on that note, we'll end here and take a walk. Come and have a look around here. As long as you don't venture over there and get yourself in serious trouble. You know, you're on public footpath here, so you're safe and sound and enjoy the scenery. Okay, till next time.